Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Why you so stressed? It's not that serious. And free your mind. It's gonna be alright. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a tribe.
Whoop, whoop. Good afternoon. You're tuned into Glory 93.9 FM, and it is that time again, 1 minute after the 4 o'clock hour, and it is officially Girl Talk time with your favorite and fabulous people, the co-host and host of this here show. We have.
It's Mericha.
Man, that was dry, man. We're going to try that again.
No, it's my lower. It's my husband voice because we're talking about unhappily married today. So it's my husband voice. It's Mericha.
We'll say, Marie, this is your grenade. Mericha and Joinae, thank you for all of those tuning in. It is a happy Thursday. Anybody
Yes, it
happy?
is.
We're in the land of the living. I'm so happy.
Glory to God.
I happy though. For true.
Happy is he, the Bible says.
Happy. I'm very happy. I feeling that. Thank you for all those tuning in, those listening to Glory 93.9 on the radio, those on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all our faces. Thank you for tuning in. All our faces. But watch this. I want you to take a moment. I want you to pause. And I want you to invite someone. If you are listening.
Oh, yeah, like and sure.
Comment. Listen, we want you to tune in today.
Let me do that while he's doing it.
Please like, share, and comment. I say sure.
Because I said it. You said it.
Like, share, and comment. All those on Facebook Live, share the live. All those listening to Glory 93.9 FM in your car, wherever you are, just pull to the side because you can't text and drive. Pull to the side.
Yeah, pull to the side.
And text somebody.
Because it's $1,000 now, apparently.
Yes.
If
And
they catch you.
I don't have $1,000 to give the government.
No, we ain't got $1,000 to give you to give the government.
Nobody got that 1,000.
Nobody really wants to give
Not
the
for
government
that.
$1,000.
1,000 maybe for something else, but not for that.
Not for that.
Listen, share it, like it, and comment.
Hey, people.
We got I see y'all.
The
I see
people
y'all. We looking
still.
good today. Invite someone, and we're going in. We're going straight in today.
My God, we going straight in?
We're going straight in.
No preface,
No delay, no hold up,
no denial,
no nothing.
no hurdles,
No hurdles,
no boundaries, no limits.
No limits,
My
no
God.
barricades,
My
no
God,
nothing.
my God.
You want to take something serious, man?
Sorry.
You serious
I'm
today?
sorry. Back in my husband voice.
Listen, we're going straight in today, and we want your perspective on today's topic. Although me and Mericha are laughing a lot, this is a very serious topic.
It is a very, very serious.
Nothing about that made me think this is
Okay, I'm
serious.
sorry.
Want to try it again?
It's a very serious
Try
topic.
it in the husband voice.
It's a very serious topic.
Okay, there we go. Our topic today is unhappily married. Now, before you say, that don't apply to me, can't relate, like one of our commenters from last week's show can't relate, I want you to call all your single friends, all your dating friends,
Oh, I love
all your
this.
engaged friends, all your married friends.
This sound good. Y'all sound like she got a word for us.
Some that are separated and those that are divorced. If you find yourself in any of these categories, there is something today that will either prepare you, prevent you, or preserve you. We want you to bring everybody in. Now, of course, here at Girl Talk, we know that this is a sensitive topic. So for your discretion or your
privacy,
your privacy, we have our text line and our call line that are open. Reach, you could tell us those numbers.
So if you want to call in, and if you call in, we will still make sure that you remain anonymous. We won't call your name. The number is 828-3543, or you can send us a text or WhatsApp to 828-2543. So again, the call-in line is 828-3543, and then the text line is 828-2543, area code 242.
So now that we've gotten all of the formalities out of the way, I listened. Y'all know everyone watches, or yeah, watches TikTok and
Yes.
Instagram and Facebook. And I scrolled past this video with Dr. Miles Monroe, and he said, and it took me a minute to get this. I must say it was a little slow.
Okay. Okay.
And he said, love is not the only thing that can keep a marriage. Love or marriage can survive off of only love.
A marriage can or can't.
Can't
A marriage can't survive
off of only love.
off of just love.
No, it can't. Because today, and this is how he said it. Because at first I was like, what do you mean? And he said, a lot of the persons that you hear are divorced. If you go to them, they'll say that they love the person. You love this person, but it takes more.
But there's a but. There's
Yeah.
always a but
It
attached.
takes more than just love to sustain a relationship or a healthy relationship. According, and I, of course, y'all know I did my research and I
Yeah,
Google every day,
she's the researcher.
right? According to D. Adam Shapiro,
Mhm.
he has a book called "You Can Be Right or You Can Be Married,"
Ah, Jesus.
right?
That
he-
right there just says a lot.
I know, right? And he said very few married people are happy. He says about 17%. He said what derails marriage is a lack of communication, dishonesty, adultery. And these are among the top problems that he found it in
So lack of communication, dishonesty,
adultery.
adultery.
Those are the top
Okay.
reasons why
Okay.
marriage have issues, I guess.
Okay.
And he did a poll, and he said 6 in 10 of us are unhappily coupled. 4 out of 10 of us say they have considered leaving their partner, and 1 in 10 don't even trust their partner anymore at all. I'm going to stick a pin right there. 6 in 10 are unhappily coupled. Now, he isn't just talking about marriage. He's talking about unhappily coupled.
So that means that you're with somebody.
You may be engaged, you may be dating. What else?
Why? Why are we sorry? Why are we unhappily coupled?
Because and this is my next point with Dr. Miles Monroe. He said people get married because they are lonely. And that's the most terrible state to be in, to get married.
That's almost like you desperate.
And that's what he said. And I can't remember exactly the way he said it, but
right.
long story short, if you want and have nothing to give, you are a burden to your partner.
Jesus, ma'am, you already come in here with the heavyweight.
If you don't have anything in you to deposit into that person, you become
you are
a
a leech.
burden.
You are a leech.
You are a leech.
You are a leech.
You are a leech. So you have persons who would always say, you know, I need a successful husband or I need a successful wife, but what do you bring to the table? And this contributes to
But
then.
what if I am the table? I can't be the table A.
Mericha, be serious.
That's what they saying on social media. I'm only telling
okay.
you because
If
I've
you-
heard people say,
if you
I am the table.
if
I don't
you-
need to bring nothing to it.
if you are the table, show me your documents, let it line up. To say that you're a table, there must be some attributes of real table.
So you should be able to hold things.
At least
I should be able to
have
come.
legs.
My God, you're gonna need
But
legs.
The point
I
is,
can't be the table. My legs short and stubby.
No, but they just have to be strong. They just have to be strong. In order for a marriage to last,
Lord
it needs to be strong.
Jesus,
That's all it is. That's all
So
it
we're
is.
getting married because we're lonely.
We're getting married because we're lonely.
We're getting married because we're desperate.
Desperate. Or we're getting married because we want to have sex.
People still doing that?
People still doing that. It's better to marry than to burn. And they love to quote that part. But you are a leech. Because everything,
You're not carrying your weight.
you're not. You're not bringing anything. You don't know how to do anything. Okay, so I don't want to call him Dr. Shapiro, but I guess Mr. Shapiro, he did a poll with like humans, not just guessing, right? And a lot of persons, he got about 140 answers, but I'm just going to list a few. Some person says finances and unmet expectations is why they become unhappy in their marriage. People,
Okay, I can see that.
right?
Hmm.
And then someone else said people getting married when they shouldn't, too early, not compatible, etc. If you are bored in the first few years of marriage, it is definitely not gonna work. Along a real lifelong relationship should have many stages. So I feel like when people are on the road to becoming unhappy in their marriage, it's as a result of not evolving too, or not evolving at the pace of your partner. Because the Marisha I met 3 years ago was not the same Marisha today on the show.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, the Marisha I spoke with a day ago is not the same Marisha today. And I think in marriage, sometimes we get so comfortable in the norm, in what works, in what seems to be, it's familiar, and
Right,
and
right.
and we stunt the growth, sorry, of marriage, of our marriage, and turn around a couple
Okay,
minutes later
so
you
I want to ask a
unhappy.
question, but I just want to make sure we get these comments in 'cause we didn't say hi to people.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
Darrison. Hey, Janae. Hey, Giselle. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Jerona.
Rona, that's my sister, y'all.
Hey, Lady Perry's tuning in all
Hi.
the way from Tennessee.
Hey,
Gosh, hey,
hey.
Lady Perry. She says, getting married equals lonely, desperate, want sex, fear of time running out,
Yes.
companionship, don't want to be alone,
Yeah.
etc. That's real. That's
Yeah.
real.
That's very real, and that's where we end up in a jam.
Okay, so you said something there. You talked about getting bored in your marriage, right? So now I want to clarify this for the sake of conversation, because I don't want people come for me, because
It's confusing.
they might not come for me in like the actual communication they have with me, but you know how people is come for
I
you when
know.
they talking about you.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So while y'all in the car or wherever y'all is, y'all watching this and y'all want to come for me because y'all want to say Marisha single, she can't speak to this topic.
No, I don't agree.
I'm going to say some things, and I just pray that you receive it in the spirit and that it is being said. Um, so in reference to getting bored, because I want to start there. I
Okay.
want to start with the fact that before you got married, you weren't bored, but now that you live together, you are bored, and there are some things that contribute to the boredom. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that contribute to the boredom is that when you were not married, you were intentional in finding ways for you and this person to connect. But once you got married, you got kind of lax and you weren't intentional in reference to how you connect with your significant other who is now your spouse. So there's that portion of it. Now, then the next thing is this. It could be a situation where you were actually bored in your relationship before you got married, and marriage just did what it usually does: highlight and magnify the reality of
Yeah.
what things really
Yeah.
are. What marriage does is, if it's bad, marriage basically puts the magnifying glass on it
Yes.
and shows you how bad it really
And
is.
once again, Dr. Miles Monroe, he said that marriage has the power to completely destroy your destiny if you choose the wrong partner. But you can go ahead. I'm just saying. That's not my words. Dr. Miles Monroe said that it has the power to literally destroy your destiny. So when we talk about unhappy, it's not just that surface.
No, it's deep. And I think too that it is, what's the word? It is approached very flippant and callously. Even though I'm trying to remember, and I was supposed to do my research, all I didn't do my research because I had a crazy day. Um, but there's a portion of the ceremony where the person who's conducting the ceremony says something to the end of entering into this commitment that you've been intentional with it. You've had thought, and I'm trying to remember what it
I
is
know
that they
what you
say.
mean.
Um,
Oh, help me remember.
oh my God, Jesus, what is it? Oh
Is
gosh,
it they say something like advisably?
advisably, um, so
Something.
like that, and
Yeah.
it's a very intentional wording to
Yeah.
suggest that
Like,
you have spent
yeah,
time.
you're conscious.
Yes,
You're
and
conscious of the commitment
and
that you're
like
making.
you are like specific and intentional with this act, that this is not just
Or
something
it says
that,
something like not to enter in unadvisedly or something like that.
yes,
I know what you mean, but I can't remember the wording.
I have the pastor them, the preacher them book on my phone, and I trying to find it and open
Okay.
it up so I can read it. But there is a level of intentionality that marriage requires. And I believe that many of us can't say that we've been intentional even with marriage, because we haven't even been intentional with our lives before we could talk about being intentional
Soberly. Yeah.
with with being married. Unfortunately, our lives have to be intentional first. Thank you, sir. Marriage is not by is marriage. Oh wow. Is not by any to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advisedly, soberly, and in the fear of God.
Yeah. Send me that. I like that. I love that though.
Isn't it?
I
Thank
always
you
I'll
so
go
much,
to a
sir,
wedding
for sending that to me.
ceremony listening listening for that vibe. I
Yeah.
like that
And
vibe.
you know what? Now that we're reading this, what intrigues me is it says reverently and discreetly.
Discreet. Discreet.
Huh.
So you mean
So maybe,
all the show we
perhaps,
putting on.
that's what I'm gonna say.
All the show.
Maybe perhaps the entering into your marriage when you have all your business on Facebook is probably the reason it's not a happy marriage,
Gee.
or maybe the reason that it has ended in divorce,
Eesh.
because it all out there. There has to be something sacred about it, right?
To an extent.
There has to be something sacred about the portions of your marriage that that you don't necessarily want everyone to be exposed to.
Yeah.
There has to be something
Yeah.
sacred about it. Discreetly, advisedly, and soberly. But yet you drunk when you go onto the altar.
Gee. Uh, and in the fear of the Lord. Or in fear of God. I like that part.
I love that part.
That's the piece of me.
Yes, I love it, Shari. Soberly. Soberly is major. You gotta be sober. And that ain't just with what I made the joke about
Yeah.
being drunk. Like but I mean being drunk, sometimes you could be drunk in love, like homegirl to say. I mean, I just saying. You could be drunk
Yeah.
in love and
And-
so you're not sober.
Right. And the thing is, love hides. Bible says love covers a multitude of sins.
So you should expect, and that's our love, by the way. I always say that whenever I am speaking to a group of people, I always say, when you do the research, that love is there is not agape, that's philia.
Mm, mm,
Our love covers a multitude of sins, not agape.
mm.
That's our love.
Help me, Holy Ghost.
So it's important for us to understand that there are things that we're blind to. It is said that whom God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Part issue is God. Oh, Jesus. God didn't join many of these marriages.
Yeah.
Hence, there is no peace or joy. I mean, you're going for the jugular today.
Right.
Giselle.
I mean, like, I wasn't ready
you
for
wouldn't
that.
even, like,
I wasn't ready for that. But yes, that is correct.
that's heavy. Soberly should also involve lots of counseling. I agree with you, Marsha. I
Yes.
totally agree with you.
Yes. I think people are unhappy, like Giselle said.
Mhm.
Because God didn't join it together. One. And when I say God didn't join it together, I mean that, please don't take me wrong. You just wanted someone to have sex with. You just wanted something that looked good.
I heard my pastor say something, and if I'm honest with you, there's a part of me that wants to fight against this, but knows that like it makes so much sense. So he said something, and I never forget it, and I still hold on to it to this day because it's a measuring stick that I use, in reference to the people that I date and whether it's gonna go anywhere or not. He said this. He said that marriage is not for your pleasure; it's for God's pleasure. And if you go into it expecting that person to make you happy and for you to be pleased, you have literally entered into a failed marriage. And I ain't gonna lie, that bothered me when he said it, because I was like, so what is the purpose of this man if he ain't supposed to make me happy? Like,
so what are you doing this
why does he
for?
exist? Like, why are you giving
What are
him
we doing this
breath?
for? I
Like,
understand. I
please
understand your
explain to
point.
me, like, and what am I? Like, why am I here? Like, why am I making all of these
Yeah.
sacrifices if not to make this person happy? And
Or for
of
them to
course,
make
as
you
I
happy.
or for them to make me happy. And then I sat on it a little bit more, and I started to even look at myself as an individual, like as a single person. And I said to myself, boo, if you ain't happy and you get married, you can make that man miserable. You
Gotta say it slow. Miserable.
miserable. You can make him miserable.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I started to understand what he meant by it's for God's pleasure, because it's, if God joins you and this person together, then he is going to preordain your steps. And then there is a purpose attached to your union. So
Uh-huh.
when the love does fade, there has to be something else that keeps you.
Right.
There has to be something at the center. There has to
Yes.
be the third chord to that threefold chord that's not
Yeah.
easily broken. And most of us would like to think that that chord is love, but I mean, we all know love ain't enough. Love ain't even enough to keep us talking to our family members. You think it can make a marriage work?
Blood.
Blood.
Didn't even blood. Wow, that's
Blood.
serious.
So yeah, I guess the question that I really want to ask those who are out there who are married, like, what is it that brought you and your spouse together? What was that purpose, that godly thing, that project, that baby, and not necessarily the physical baby,
Mm.
but that baby that you both were like, okay, yes, we can make this happen. This is going to work because we are together. And what has become better since what has changed? Has something in your lives or in your community or in your family life or even in this nation changed because you and this person have come together? What has changed? What has shifted? And that might seem like a weird question, but I'm asking that question because we're talking about being unhappily married here. And a part of the unhappiness that we're experiencing is a lack of fulfillment.
Right.
And it's because we're expecting an individual to fulfill us who can't.
Mm.
Oh. I think this she meant to say Joinae, and I
Mhm.
think these autocorrect, they ruin. I'm of the opinion that God can join individuals together and they can experience a time of unhappiness, but they should not reside there. What do you think about that?
I mean, okay. I guess so. Because I wish you would develop that a little bit more.
Yeah, Michelle, can you explain that
Yeah.
time of unhappiness? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What does that look like? If you don't mind fleshing that out a little bit more.
Please.
Giselle says, you've been battling all throughout the relationship, no happiness, and magically expect a total 180 turnaround
Right.
once you're married.
You
No
you
boo boo.
you don't trust them before you're
Yeah.
married,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
expect that marriage
Yeah.
will.
Thanks, Tammy. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you.
Oh wow. Okay. That question made me think.
Yeah. It has me thinking too. And I'm processing it from an observational point of view, of course. And I've seen it. I've seen the sticking through the rough times. Um the sticking through the rough times has an effect on kids though.
Yeah.
It has an effect on kids, and I'm not sure if parents really fully understand
I have something
the
here.
kind of effect it can have on your children. And I'm speaking from a child's point of view now. I'm not speaking as the married person. I'm speaking from a child's point of view. And I would have observed the sticking through process. And I could tell you that one of the things that it made me prone to as a female was low self-esteem.
Mm.
And it also made me prone to abusive relationships because I have this example of somebody who stuck through the difficult times.
Mm.
So I have to stick through the difficult times.
and then nothing is really there to say what is the borderline,
Like where, like
how much is enough,
right.
how much is too
How much is
much.
too much, and where do you draw the line with sticking through? And
Mm,
this is actually like a legitimate question. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, we're coming back at the statement or whatever. No, like we're asking this question. We're
mhm.
having a discussion. How far is too far? Where do we stop? Where do we stop and say, okay, no?
Well, I think when we ask that question, it is based on that person,
Yes, it's definitely
right?
not a sweeping
Right,
generalization conversation.
right. So
It's definitely a
based
one-on-one.
on what I can take may not
Yes,
necessarily be what you take, or
exactly.
vice versa.
Exactly.
So I think I want to hear the comments first. But I want to stick this right here.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the things that I saw, um, this person said, I've been against marriage because I had the idea that my parents are suffering so much in it, and I hated the idea of them
Wow.
being so miserable. The funniest thing is that they actually get along very well. The problem was in the image that movies and fairy tales give about marriage, the
Wow.
happily ever after, the endless romance, etc.
So a part of our problem is perception as well.
Yes. How
That a
how
marriage is always supposed to be good
peaches and cream, cake, ice cream, dancing through the green grass, and you know
and leaping through
skipping,
fields.
yes, and swinging on the swing and slide down the slide, and it's not. And maybe that was, I can't remember,
Yeah, what
ladies.
Michelle, yeah, what
Maybe
Michelle
that
was
was
alluding to.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a part of her point. So mm,
Tommy says every marriage goes through stages. There have been times when my husband and I have not gotten along. Wow.
I don't see where you is.
This is a touchy subject.
Oh,
LOL. I'll just be here to listen today and enjoy the comments. Powerful topic, ladies. Stefan says, hey, ladies.
hey
I see
Stephanie.
Rashan tagging people. Awesome. Thank you so much, honey. Lavonia says, hey, Lavonia.
Hey, honey.
Um, in response to Michelle, I believe that teeth and tongue will clash at times, but marriage is a blessing, and God said the blessing make rich and add no sorrow.
Agreed.
A lot of people don't understand what marriage is. A part of the problem is that many don't understand covenant, and most marriages today are contractual.
Mm,
That's heavy what you just said, Tommy, because
wow.
you're making a clear delineation between
Yes.
covenant and contract.
Yes.
And that's something that I have actually heard, not only just my pastor but a few other pastors, females and males, say that their stance to marriage is they will not entertain a marriage that has not been, I guess you could say, sanctioned by a man of God. So they encourage their members, like, okay, I will perform your wedding, you will go through this counseling, don't go before a justice of the peace.
Oh, okay.
So it needs to be God sanctioned, because when
Okay.
it's not God sanctioned, it's a contract. It's not a covenant.
Mm,
Because the country of the Bahamas gives you a marriage certificate that you enter into the contract of marriage. But it is God who sanctions the covenant of marriage, and a justice of the peace can't sanction a covenant.
Like-
I've heard several men of God say that.
this this may be dumb, but I can
Mhm.
ask anyway.
Uh-huh.
So a JP is not a pastor.
No.
Okay, and there's a difference between a pastor who can marry and
And
a
a-
JP.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I
Yeah.
want to clear up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to
Because
clear
there
up.
are pastors who are not justices of the peace or marriage officers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And there are marriage officers who aren't
Not-
pastors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no. So what? Never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, and that's
I-
important for us to know.
Mm,
And I see the question in your head, like, well, why are we allowing that to happen?
Right. I mean, if it's a covenant,
Anybody, listen to me. Anybody, I don't want to say anybody because it sounds
but
bad,
honestly,
but anybody who passes the test can get a marriage license.
and that's when it's a contract.
I mean, a marriage, what you call it? The marriage people thing. I losing my words right now. Sorry,
Marriage
y'all.
people
I'm
thing?
sorry. Let's get this comment in here by Michelle. I mean, there may be times when one may be in a marriage. I just can't speak today. That's my
It's all
problem.
right.
Marriage officer is what I wanted to say. Marriage officer.
Thank you, Holy Ghost.
I mean, there may be times when one may be in a marriage and an occasion may arise and a partner may say, I'm unhappy.
Mm,
Not that you're failing in marriage, but situations may have occurred that made you unhappy. Not that the marriage isn't working. Marriage is really a covenant with God.
Yeah.
I love that, Michelle. That definitely clarified
The first statement.
the first statement, and gave us a clearer understanding of what you meant. And I think too that I know for me as a single person, when people talk about the ups and downs of marriage, they don't paint it in a beautiful way. And that bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. As a single person, that bothers me.
What do you mostly hear from women or men?
Both.
Not
Actually,
not one more than the other.
I think I hear more from men than women.
Oh yeah. Because if you said women, then I would say, we exaggerate.
No.
We exaggerate.
Yeah, we do, but
And-
no, most
But I think
most conversations that I have heard, men would say, "Nah, don't rush, don't rush, don't." Just
mm,
and then of course there is that older lady in church who always just say loose goat don't know what tie goat feel like.
mm,
And I always just say, but loose goat don't know what tie goat feel like.
That's heavy.
And listen to me, I don't know, because I loose. I'm free.
Loose like a goose.
Loose.
Loose.
Loose like
Love
a
it.
goose.
Love it.
And so I don't know what it feels like. That is very true.
Okay.
That is very true. However, if you're encouraging me to get married, is that what you're gonna say? And I wonder sometimes.
It's
I wonder
more,
sometimes.
It's more of like a warning.
Yeah,
A
no. There's a way to do it that makes it attractive.
This is the older person.
Just people who married, period.
Man, I never tell you that. Loose goat. I'm gonna say loose goose.
Loose goose don't know what tie goose feel like.
Loose.
No, but I understand it, but I think too that, okay, let me ask this question. Are there so many of us that are unhappy in our marriages that we can't even encourage people to join in this covenant like you are because you're so unhappy?
I don't think so. I think it's just human nature to magnify. Like 1,000 things could be going good, and then one thing goes wrong, and then we capitalize on that one thing, and then we make it seem like the other 1,000 things don't make no sense. We never get it right. Like those
Yeah.
people who like can't wait to row and be like, listen, but you always leaving the microwave on high, whatever, right? But did you see the other times that I cleaned the microwave? You see what I mean? So I think it's human nature to just magnify that which is wrong or not going according to how we feel like it should go.
I understand where you're coming from. I think there's a danger in that though, in how we magnify and what we magnify, because I think we can end up in a situation where we don't fully understand not only just the purpose of our marriages, but we also, like, when it comes to kids and kids are involved, we're painting a picture, man.
Okay.
We're painting a picture, and what we're doing is we're reproducing individuals who have a distorted view of what true relationship and healthy relationship is supposed to look like.
Yes. And then I think another part too is when you are married and then you have children early.
Yes.
So I'm not saying all relationships are like that, but in some cases you're just learning that person.
And then you bring a child into the learning situation,
right, and then
into the classroom.
in turn that child sees you work out the kinks. And if
now here's the thing, I think that can be healthy if it's done appropriately,
but that's providing that you're dealing with two mature persons. And then and that's where the unhappiness comes in. I spoke with someone who was dating, and her point to me was, Joe, this person is not mature enough for me. And I tried to wait and to see if they would mature,
right,
or if they would grow in a particular area. And mind you, that person has changed,
Mhm.
but it still isn't enough. But if they are considering covenant, then that's a red flag. Because
immaturity is a red flag.
That's a red flag, and it's only going to make you unhappily married because you're not either two. He is not matured, and you are not matured enough to deal with the immaturity. To say wait longer and I don't know.
So you're suggesting that there's a level of maturity in marriage that enables you to deal with a level of immaturity? Is that what you're saying?
I guess it can be. I'm not
Mm,
saying for the rest of your life,
right, but
but I'm saying certain
because we'll
things.
have that
Right,
immaturity showing on both sides where you have the things that you're struggling with, you haven't quite matured
right,
with, and I will
right,
have those things. And
right.
okay.
And I think that's where compromise comes in. But if it's unbearable while you're dating, you can't take it
Mm.
while you're dating. Do not enter into a covenant.
So why are we unhappy then? Why
I,
are we unhappy in
we
marriage?
are unhappy because one, we don't know ourselves when we get into marriage, or two, we lose ourselves when we go into marriage.
Mm. Or maybe it's because we don't want to die to ourselves too.
that too. But like majority of the persons that I've spoken with, they say things like, I lost myself.
Okay.
I was more concerned about pleasing my spouse. And this is on both sides. I was more concerned about pleasing my spouse, or,
Mm-hmm.
being the best wife or being the best husband, that in turn I lost who I am.
Mm.
So you'll see pictures, memes and stuff, and people have the picture of the side chick, pumps, you know, face beat, and the wife, Crocs, Crocs, or the
And
tennis
sweatpants.
and sweatpants, and not taking away from that the wife's beauty, but that is the first thing that men see. They're visual. So if you in Crocs and she in pumps, I'm not wearing Crocs. I wear my Crocs, but I can put my pumps though. You will have a pump at least once, at least once, at least once. But the point is that image is is not is not really what it is. You understand? You understand? I see you
I
smiling.
understand what you're saying. It's just that I'm a little hesitant because okay, we are talking to our girlfriends. So I do think we need to say to our married sisters, like I just hear Crystal say, I do think that we need to say to our married sisters, like, listen, we need to do better.
Think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We need to.
Tell me
Just
how.
like how I tell you brush your hair.
I'm brushing it. I brushed it. I brushed it today.
Just like how
Half in.
I tell you brush your hair. Your husband ain't gonna tell you brush your
Oh
hair.
no, he is telling me,
But
Joe.
see, we on God for your husband. Your
No,
husband ain't like
Joe,
everybody else
fix it.
husband. So
Joe, fix it
well, you
now.
know what? We bless God for Daniel. But everybody husband ain't like yours. Everybody husband is not like your husband. So I do want to say that, and you know what? This is not even just for my married friends. This is just for my girlfriends, period.
Mm,
Stop going to the food store, dragging slippers
I know,
with
boy.
holes in your clothes and bonnet on your head.
I'm not guilty of the bonnet.
Why? Why? And the stocking cap. Why?
Honestly, I want to look at that from two sides. I think for the married person, a lot is going on. A lot is going on. Juggling home, work, husband, kids, and they're just trying to get it, just trying to get a grip on things. Maybe when you see that person in the food store, when they transform, they look like a whole something. Could it be that the food store state is not the permanent state? Just ask it. I don't know, cause I just go to the food store ashy. I see ashy, no lotion. I ain't gonna bonnet, but I still in the category of ashy.
Hmm.
I think that sometimes,
You don't really want me to respond to that. You don't
I
really want me to.
and I'm gonna lay it out. I think that sometimes as single people, we have this expectation of what we should be like married, and it's a bit much. When on the flip side, wait, hear me out. On the flip side, married people sometimes be doing for more. You look bad, fix it.
Mm,
The point Marisha's trying to make, and I think, you're just letting yourself go too much.
exactly.
Do not let yourself go too
Woman.
much.
And I'm not talking to a wife. I'm talking to the woman. Woman, lady, female. Fix.
Yeah, that I can understand.
Fix. Because
But
men are visual creatures.
every day in Christmas though,
No, every day it's not Christmas, but you don't gotta look like you cleaning the dishes all the time.
What if
Like you cleaning the house.
What if you was cleaning the house and then the baby said, "Oh, baby, mommy, I want some spaghetti. I want some spaghetti." Fume to the store.
No, no, no. Go in the bathroom, go in the room and fix yourself before you go to the
It's
store.
a lot of work. That's- and I'm thinking like
Because this is not
reality,
even,
everyday life.
this is not even about the person that you're with, This is about
How you carry yourself as a woman.
like old school principles. You dress the way you want to be addressed.
Agreed. I can agree with that.
And so you can't be mad that you looking the way like how you looking, and then the person who looking like how they looking approach you, and you trying to figure out why they approaching you. Because you look like how you look.
Did you run hard?
I did.
I'm not upset.
I did. I run on.
I'm
I
not
run
upset at
on
all.
because it's something that bothers me.
I understand.
Like it really bothers me.
I understand.
And furthermore, as women who are in relationships, we have to pay attention to the parts of our lives where we fixing ourselves more for our job than we are for our husbands.
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
Because they should get the best of us. The world shouldn't get the best of us. They should.
Mm-hmm.
So now the solution is not to dumb down what you give the world. The solution is to upgrade what you give your husband.
Just take it up a notch or two.
Because
That's all.
I can see somebody saying, "So, you saying so I shouldn't dress up as much when I go out
So
to
you're
work."
saying, so no makeup to work.
No
then.
makeup to work. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, surprise your husband every now and then. Let one day come home, let him meet you, dress up with makeup on, and y'all don't have nowhere to go. Be like, "Baby, I just did this for you."
I don't know if I could say that on air, so I'm gonna go wait for that one. Okay, don't worry about it.
Let's go.
Okay, so I have this question. So
Can we go to the comments first
Okay,
before you ask
sorry.
your question? Because they coming in hot.
All I see is Crystal.
Coming in hot. We as women love to ignore red flags, though. Willful ignorance. My
Willful.
God. My God.
Willful.
No, Joinae, they ain't overreacting. Most unhappy marriages are two people whom were never single or divorced from their spiritual wife/husband. My God, Telsey.
It's a heavy day.
Telsey. Woman of God.
That's whew.
Mom, we got to stick a pin in that. We got to come back and talk about that. Because that's something right there. My God, woman. Crystal said, God, oh Jesus.
That's what they say. God could
change him. Hold on now, Joe. No, throw them in the garbage.
I love Crocs too.
Yes, Mericha. And we married women need to stop wearing big panties in the bedroom. Deliverance. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Some people are still married in their marriage. My God, Telsey. Those spiritual spouses don't come to play. Hence why deliverance is important for both persons before entering God's covenant. I ain't gonna lie, Telsey, you really coming in heavy. I thought you was gonna stop from
No,
but she's continuing, and she has a valid point. Okay. Many of us are tied to other people spiritually.
Yes.
Tied to other people emotionally.
Yes.
And those individuals are making it difficult for our actual marriages to flourish.
And I think too, when you are tied to someone spiritually, that feeling or that expectation from that previous person, especially sexually, is what you bring into your marriage.
Yes, and then comparison enters. And comparison is a thief of joy. Okay. So there we go. Giselle says, unhappy because of unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
In marriage, self has to die as you are now one. Your focus has to evolve in purpose as you balance life. Crystal says, it depends on the type of man you have too. Some men don't want you to be too fix up, especially if you were not always that type of woman. Red flag.
What you fixing up suddenly for?
DeAndre says, how do we get to the place of balancing being happy in a relationship without losing yourself? Very good question.
You want to answer that or you want me to?
No, you got to answer that. You married, I single. Ready to mingle.
The balance comes in taking some time for you. That's easy. Just, I have days. Okay, well, not recently.
So it's not easy then.
I have a baby now.
It's not easy.
But
it requires intentionality.
John, come on. Baby, I need you to keep G for a minute. I need to take I gotta go somewhere. I gotta tip out. I have to take care of myself as a woman, even if that means going to get your nails to, going to get your hair to. Um, I don't know if I can say the other stuff on air, but however,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things, get a facial, get a massage, all of these
Go get
things,
waxed.
go get wax. I didn't know if I could say
Yeah,
that.
you can say it. You just
Wax or sugar, whatever it is that you do.
yes.
The thing is, it's not shutting out your spouse completely, giving them this, okay, baby, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm going to be for X amount of hours or however long
Whatever.
it
Yeah.
takes,
And make it happen.
and making it happen.
I want to inject something in there because I think this is very important. I don't think marriages can exist in islands. I think that marriages are supposed to have communities around
Mm.
them, and I think that the success of a marriage also depends on the community that surrounds that marriage.
Which leads me to my next question. Is
Mhm.
it a lot of persons talk about it, having single friends and married? Because you talk about community, and community suggests the people around us, right? And you have married persons that don't like, okay, married men or men who do not like their wives with their single friends or vice versa. How do we feel about that? Because it
Um.
then goes back to DeAndre.
Mhm.
How do you maintain that balance? Because my friend may not be married, but
I think that I think that what has to be considered here is I think it has to go by case basis. I think we like to generalize things
mhm,
too much. Um, you need to know your spouse's friends. I think that's necessary.
mm,
And I do not think that you should have a friend that your spouse does not approve of
okay.
because they should be your best friend.
Pause. Don't forget your thought. A friend that your spouse doesn't approve of, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you and this person were friends before you were married?
Yeah, but you married now.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Because I've heard instances where people are like, oh, this person going
But
to get
there's a reason
married.
though. Why doesn't your spouse approve of this person?
Right. And then,
Because in some cases, it's not necessarily the end of the relationship, but the change of the nature of a relationship
yeah,
that's necessary.
yeah.
And I think sometimes we go in with this cancel culture into cutting off and canceling instead of changing the nature of the
And I think
relationship.
we
Because
don't
what
know
it might
barriers either.
exactly because what it might need to be is okay,
Boundaries.
listen, you and this person can't go out alone anymore.
Mm.
And I think that that's fair. If
Or
that's something that your spouse requires, I
or
think that you could be like, okay, baby, you want to bring them over? We can have dinner together. They can come over. We can go out together
or maybe just for the length of time.
or the length of time.
Or
Or
like
what information you share. Like, let's talk about the fact that this friend that was once your bedroom friend as a single person, as in they knew the close, intimate things about
mhm,
you. Now they need to become a yard friend. They don't even come in the door.
okay.
You go outside to hear them.
Okay.
Hey, what you saying? Yeah, I was cooking. You want some crab and rice? I will bring it outside to you. You ain't coming in my kitchen. Like boundaries need to shift. Boundaries need to change.
I think that becomes difficult when someone is already in
Yeah.
your. Yeah, that sounds
But
very
what's the
easy.
priority? Too.
Agreed.
What's the priority? Is the
Agreed.
priority that relationship or your marriage?
I agree.
What's the priority?
I think it also depends on the character of the person.
yes.
Because if you, known for being dropsy or known for, taking the other person out to a place where they shouldn't be, that married person.
Right. I'll say this. I can't speak for everybody who's married. I'm not married. I can't speak for everybody who is single. But I can say this to you. I have a friend who her husband is like my number one fan.
Mm.
He pushes me to do
Y'all,
the thing like as
yeah,
in
y'all to
like
go out.
no, not go out. Like like through her. He's my number one fan. Whenever I see him, I see her because the only way I see him is when I see her.
Okay.
And he encourages me. He pushes me to be a better version of myself. If he saw me on TV, he'd be like, "Girl, you was singing, and I didn't want to hear nobody else
Oh,
other than
okay.
you."
I understand. I thought you
Like,
meant something else.
and he is because he met us as friends. He made it a point to be my friend.
Mm. But some people don't want that.
Everybody's not like that, but I'm just giving you the example.
Right.
And then what I also noticed too about that relationship in particular too is that there have been times when I've had conversations with her and I've been like, yeah, you know better than that though. You need to go and you need to fix that and make that right with him.
Right.
Because I say that to say there are single people in your life that can kind of help you
Right.
as a married woman be a
Right.
better married woman.
Right.
So don't write off your single girlfriends. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are some single girlfriends that are toxic to your marriage, but not all are. And you need to know.
Yeah, you gotta find
You
that.
need to know. You need to know who those women are. Because we're talking to our girlfriends. So you need to know who those friends are. Now, to that single man who you got as a friend, as a woman, boo, that's another situation. That's another conversation for another day. We have way more comments to get at. I might not go, but believe me when I say that I'm not going to get dressed up to go to the store.
I may be actually.
Giselle said
I
do
will.
better.
I will do better.
Is what considered cheating, Crystal?
Oh, yeah,
Because we talking about a lot. Tell us what you were talking about there. Soul ties, break them all before you enter marriage. What? So what happened to the husbands that go to the store? I see where you're going with this, Kristen. So what happened to the husbands that go to the store in holy clothes looking like a bum? Why are women always expected to be the ones presentable? If I fix myself to go to work, that's because I take pride in my appearance and presenting myself in a presentable manner. You know what, Kristen? I believe in your heart in this comment, and I agree with everything that you're saying. They need to not wear the holy clothes too. And as wives, throw them away.
This who like throw away things.
Throw away the holy clothes in Jesus' name. Throw away the holy clothes. Throw away. I have another friend who is married. When her husband, white undershirts start to not look white, she's throw them away and buy new ones. Throw away.
Baby, wear my undershirt.
I bought you some new ones.
The one with the hole under the arm. That's what I'm looking for.
No. I bought you some new ones. Found that gratitude in a marriage helps keep the heart happy. That's really good, Marsha. I appreciate that so much. Yes, you have to take those breaks so you don't lose your sanity. You can't pour out what you don't have.
Agreed.
Ma'am,
it's Crystal in the cap lock.
I mean, all caps.
I understand, Crystal.
I don't take relationship advice from single people. And ma'am,
that's okay.
You are entitled to your opinion.
That's okay.
That is wonderful. Unhappiness in marriages can also stem from not knowing your spouse's love language or knowing and refusing just because they are not doing it for you. Tells Angela, you really like walking really heavy today. Like you just like you in there. I think the spirit of community is what's more important than their marital status. A balanced, wise, single friend, thank you, Delarise, can be a more valuable member of your community than a married friend whose bitterness and unhappiness is leaking. Woman of God.
Say that again.
I want to give you an offering. I have an offering for you, Delarise.
Say that again, please, Mericha. Please.
I think the spirit of community is what's more important than their marital status. A balanced, wise, single friend can be more valuable member of your community than a married friend whose bitterness and unhappiness is leaking. Woman of God, you just released a word. I have an offering for you.
Listen, we got a couple people get Telsey gotta get.
Listen to me. Telsey need an offering. Tellers need an offering.
Everybody.
Listen to me. Very often it may require an evolution in the friendship rather than a cancellation. And that's absolutely.
I agree with that, Della.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Crystal says, my husband's single friends can go out, hang. However, they cannot advise him. It's different because they're not accountable to anyone. Ooh, child. Brittany says she agree.
I agree.
That's an excellent point, Mericha. Change the nature of the relationship. I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen with my I've seen it happen with my married friends of mine who gotten married. Like, you know, the nature has changed. Sam, I'm with you. I am as well. There are some things that I've experienced, some things that I've seen, and I always talk to, especially my friends who are married who have kids. I always tell them I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be the spouse, but I do know what it's like to be the child.
Mm.
And I think a lot of times in marriage, I don't know why, but for some strange reason, when kids are involved, the kids are left out of the equation,
Yeah.
as if the issues in the marriage don't affect the
Or
children.
like the
And
child invisible.
yeah,
Like we
like
doing this by
it's like
ourselves.
the, like the child doesn't matter. Like a child doesn't contribute to the strength or the weakness or the happiness or the unhappiness of your marriage, because they do.
Mhm.
They do. So many people disagree because of their kids.
Mm.
And I think it's so important for us to understand that, like, not only are you teaching your children how to have an unhappy marriage if your marriage is unhappy, but you're also creating something in their psyche that suggests that marriage cannot be healthy, that marriage cannot be good, that it could not be happy
Or not
because
last long.
or not last long because of our lack of discipline, or just not caring enough.
So would you say it's better to be unhappily married or single?
Is it better to be unhappily married or single? My response is probably going to be dangerous. And some people can come at me for that, and that's fine. If you're unhappily married to the person of that God has ordained for you to be married, your purpose partner, in my mind, you can't go nowhere.
Mm.
Divorce is not an option. Till death do us part. Somebody is going to have to die.
So it's better to be unhappily married?
And so in that case, we are going to have to figure out how to make this unhappy marriage happy.
Okay. So it's better to be
Because
unhappily married.
because what we also don't talk about enough in the church, but also when it comes to marriages, period, we don't talk about the door that divorce opens. And not the door to future divorces, but the door to the death of relationships. Because many of us see divorce in a very myopic way, where we don't look at the after effects of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We don't recognize that divorce suggests that anybody I love can be cut off from my life, not just my spouse.
Mm.
Once we don't agree, once we don't no longer come together the way that we used to, once someone else enters the relationship and causes there to be a separation, once I steal money from you, and once something comes in to cause me to no longer choose you and choose me,
Mm.
that suggests that my brother could no longer choose me and choose himself, and that suggests that I could cut my brother off. Divorce opens the door to death in relationships. And many of us, if we take a look at our families, we take a look at the environments, we take a look at some of the relationships that we've had in our lives over time, divorce has exposed brokenness to our relationships in some way, shape, or form. And we've only looked at it from the perspective of marriage. And we haven't seen the generational curse that
Yeah.
divorce opens the door to.
Yeah.
Where before your child even gets married, their friendships don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because your divorce has taught them, once I'm done with this person, I'm done.
I done.
And your being done with the person has to be bitter, and it has to be nasty, and it has to be a separation of assets, and it has to be a separation of things, and all of this. It opens the door to failure in relationships, that now we gotta fight with the enemy
Mhm.
in order just to have one sensible relationship. Because for many of us, the fight begins when we try to have a marriage. We don't even see it in our regular relationships. We don't even see that
Right.
how
Your friendships can't even last long.
exactly. We don't even see that how, like, okay, your sister was divorced, and so now when as you watched her growing up, you watch her get married, and now you and your best friend had this falling out, and you be like, I done with her because she's nobody. And then all of a sudden now you friends with somebody else, and then a year later, oh, I done because she's nobody. No, wait. Stop here. Pause here. Take a look, man. take a look, because if you can't have a sensible friendship, you definitely can't have a marriage.
Won't work.
It's not gonna work. So I think that we have to think deeper, man. We have to think deeper. We're opening the door to so many things when, and I know that there are other opinions to this. So I'm not gonna say that what I'm saying is the be all end all. I know that. But man, if you can marry somebody, stay.
Yeah.
Stay. And make like it fully exhaust it, wring it out, like how when you're trying to wring something out till like you can't get no more liquid out of it. Like I mean, like wring it out, like
But as far as some persons are concerned, your level of ringing out and their level of ringing out is two different
it's two totally
things.
different things. And I fully agree. But make sure that you could sleep at night with the fact that you did all that you
You
can.
say you did your best.
Yes.
I understand.
Because at the end of the day, even though the two become one, you don't answer to God for your spouse. You answer to God for you. Your spouse have to answer to God for themselves. It's a lot. A comment.
Well, yeah. I need long.
No.
Okay, skip to 5.
Tammy says, excellent point. Kids matter. I don't know
I
what
know,
that was in response
Brittany.
to.
I know.
We hear you, Crystal. Single. We hear you. It's better to be single. We hear you, boo.
I mean,
I understand where she's coming from.
wait your
with that.
time. Wait your
Yeah.
time. Develop, grow, love yourself. Be okay with being by yourself.
Oh. Samantha says, these overabundant, unhappy marriages causing me to feel some type of way about marriage. I with you, boo. I like it have me hesitant bad.
But I could tell you something, Samantha. There are a lot of people out here. We happy.
But you know what? The happy people don't show us.
And that's what keeping us happy. That's the issue. Someone asked me, it's like, oh, how does this last so long? And I said, listen, you got to keep private and move on. Something that you mentioned earlier. Everything's on social media.
Discreet.
We feel the need to post, oh, my husband just got me a Lamborghini.
I wonder what your husband just got you. Here's what I want to hear from the happily married people. I want to hear you say, marriage will bless your life. Do it.
Mm.
And even the happily married people aren't saying that.
Mm.
Because in some ways, it seems like the happily married people still want out.
I can't agree with that.
Well, then we can need some people to prove us wrong.
I can't agree with that.
The concept of happiness is not biblical. Whoa, Roseanne, come for us.
Okay. Joy.
The joy,
Not happy.
not joy, is a fruit of the Spirit. Capital S. Not happiness.
Capital S. Yes. I almost missed that.
God doesn't give us a pass because we married the wrong person. He also doesn't give us a pass. Jesus.
If we can't get along.
If we can't get along, that's the thing about covenant. We figure a way to work through these problems because 69% of the things that happen in a relationship are considered divorceable. How are you going to work through those problems? We are too quick to throw away marriage because of this concept of happy.
Yeah.
And can we normalize counseling and working on our marriages?
I think the average person doesn't want to do counseling.
I think too it's because of the Bahamian culture nature. We feel like all Bahamians is gossip. So who is that safe place that you can go to talk to about your marriage where you know it won't be repeated? And I think it's because we make the mistake in talking to our family members first about our broken marriage instead of going to the person that we need. Yeah, no, we got to. We got to stop doing that. Because my pastor says it all the time. I go to Joinae about my husband. I forgive my husband. Joinae is not going to forgive my husband.
Big mad.
She's not going to. So the next time me and Joinae and our husbands decide to go out, Joinae, baby, just do it. Bust Mericha in her head. And she's still sitting there with the steward.
And
that creates contention.
That goes back to the kind of community.
Yes, the kind of community.
Because if you're not dealing with a matured person, then you shouldn't be venting to that person.
No, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be
Because
having a conversation with somebody about your marriage.
and
You
then
can't be
wisdom
mature.
says, listen, okay, if Mericha is willing to let it go, then I'm gonna have to let it
Yeah, you
go.
gonna have to. You
Okay.
gonna have to. Um, Tommy says the storms always pass by. I'm going to celebrate 20 years of marriage, and it hasn't always been happy, but we put in the work because we committed to each other.
Happy
Wow.
anniversary.
Yes.
Soon anniversary.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really
Awesome.
good.
Happy for you and your husband, Roseanne. Ring out every avenue.
Desperately.
Yeah, man. We got to. I think willfully dwelling in a state of unhappiness and ceasing to put in works to heal, forgive, move forward, pivot, or do something is equally opening the door to dead relationships. Mom, you just released a word. I tell Delarice we need to give Delarice an offering.
Della. Oh.
So she's basically what she's saying is don't just consider divorce an open door, but your willingness to stay in a relationship and not work on it is also opening the
You
door to
don't want
death.
to heal. You don't want to forgive. You don't want to move forward.
Ah, because many of us stay and then we punish the person out. Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
We stay and we punish the person.
Yes. And that's where they become unhappy.
And that's where death enters in.
Mm.
I frozen. Click crystal for me, please.
Why rush into a marriage if you aren't ready to deal with hard times? You are not always going to be happy and feel like being married. But if you can't get over that and forgive each other, you need to stay single.
Stay by yourself.
But I think people want to figure that out when they get married. Like, figure out that this is how much they want to take. In the dating or whatever stage, it's like, oh, he did this, but we okay. And you feel like you want to figure it out later. Like we put it off, water under the bridge, and then when you're married and he does the same thing that he was doing when y'all was dating, then everything hit the fan.
Something that I heard somebody say, and I'm trying to remember where I was when I heard it because it was so profound to me. And I can't remember where I was, but the person, it was a male who was speaking, and he said, many of us marry who we can marry, not who we should marry.
And then that goes back to what we're saying about being your whole self.
Yeah.
If you feel insecure, if you don't like you,
Just because somebody asks you to marry them, that mean you should marry them. Just because you've been together for 4 years and then you get an engagement ring, it doesn't mean that that's the person
but
that you're
then
supposed to marry.
culture then is like,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Because
but
if that's the case, I'd be married now.
But that's a lot of people. A lot of people are pressured into being married. Or like, you have people like, gee, you ain't married yet. The clock ticking.
It is. My clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking, but I don't need you to tell me that.
The clock is ticking.
You think I don't know what time it is?
I am officially, from this point on now, but actually no, from 2 years ago when I turned 33, my pregnancies have become officially geriatric and I never even had a husband to be pregnant yet. So,
Sarah.
Yeah, but I don't want to be Sarah. Now, Mom, we can start another conversation. I won't talk about that right now. I don't want to be Sarah.
Is there anything too hard for the
There
Lord?
is nothing too hard for
Okay.
God, but I don't want a miracle for...
You say but, you sound
Yeah,
like
no, but I
you sound like you lack faith to me.
No, it's not a lack of faith. I just don't want pregnancy to have to be a miracle for me. That's my preference. Let's use miracles for if there's a deficiency in my child and I need to lay on.
So
who
are we to tell God what kind of...
I ain't telling God. I just saying that's my preference.
I mean,
that's my preference. But that's not what we're talking about today. I don't want our child.
Never.
Could leave my boo.
That is mine. Mine.
I love my husband and we have a joyful marriage.
Honestly, the other day, Daniel blasted me so bad on Facebook. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't know what we was talking about, but we was talking about something and he was like, oh, we was married since 2016.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Pray for me. My maths is
But
off.
mind you, I knew from the first time I asked you how long you've been married, and you couldn't tell me that you had an issue.
No, but it ain't even about being married. It's like you asked me how old I am, and I forget.
Mom, I need you to do better.
One time I was in the service, and the preacher was like, "How old are you?" And I turned to Daniel on the keyboard. I said, "Baby, how old I is?" He said, "You don't know yet." Pray for me. It's just, Mom. It's when you're having fun. Time goes by fast.
Lorinda says, yes, let's normalize counseling. Absolutely. Leave your family out of your relationship and you will have a better one. That's the problem for True Joinae, that they have not made up in their mind that they will stay with that person through whatever. It's not an easy decision to make to like to stay with anybody, whatever be. To like through whatever. Like, so imagine a spouse.
Mm.
Some of us have cut off family members because we don't have the patience to stick through whatever.
You know,
Because our love does not know how to suffer long and be kind.
if you can't say preach, say ouch. Ouch.
And
Yeah.
what we like to demand from
Mm.
people is a love that suffers long and is kind. But
we
our
ain't-
love,
we ain't suffering
our
long.
love don't suffer nothing.
What? Long well.
Our love is short
We-
suffering,
Mm.
brief suffering, love. Short suffering. We don't know long suffering in our love. And you know what it is
I need
too?
help.
We have too much envy.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
Help me understand.
We don't know how to be happy for people. Genuinely.
I ain't gonna lie, I can't relate.
And so we envy what people have.
I
We always think the grass is greener. And the grass ain't never green. There's be manure underneath that green grass.
can't. Well, from the
I just said
from the
manure,
aspect
yes.
of
Yes.
um,
Or a dead body giving life to that green grass. I just saying. The
honest-
grass green because something dead.
I can't relate. Simply because I mean, like I worry about me. I worry about me and mine. And okay, I mean, I'm happy for you. That's great. That's wonderful. But I think that comes with being secure in yourself. And someone may have more than what I have, but that's good for them. And not necessarily because they have more means that they're happier. Because you have some persons that paint this picture like, oh, we out here. And we just, doing so great and they're not happy. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. And miss, you don't have anything I want.
Lorinda says, I strongly believe that making that person your best friend before marriage helps you to know if you really want to be married to that person. You get to know them better. No marriage gets to 20, 30, 40 years without rough patches. It requires perseverance.
Yes.
It's not easy at all, child, especially if you're a prideful person. You have to put yourself to the side to forgive. Oh, Jesus, Brittany's screaming at us. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Tazi says, how short is long? How short is long? Because I've been suffering long. Oh, man. Stop comparing other people's relationships and build your own. Listen to me.
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to envy when, like, you could
Because you don't even know, babe.
Not only that, like, if you think they grass green, water yours so it could be green.
Water your own
you know what I mean? Like
Get
that,
some
that's the way I
fertilizer.
see it. That's the way I see
Yeah,
it.
get some
I
fertilizer.
could put a bunch of flower and lilies and whatever.
Yeah.
To make my
And what the thing name?
Hibiscus.
Bougainvillea. And
hibiscus. Put on the tree. Go down to the plant nursery.
Oh, I
and-
love that. I
and do
love that,
that.
Roseanne. She said, Telsey, God is working his purpose out. Pain births purpose. Tammy laughed at us. I think the crazy part about, well, not the crazy part. I think the most difficult part about some of our girlfriends out there joining who are unhappily married, like we mentioned earlier, there's nowhere for them to go they feel like they have nowhere to go to express the truth of what they're really facing.
Because
what they're really dealing with.
I agree, because the reality is people are trapsy.
Oh,
and when you talked about envy, if people see you happy, right?
Yes.
And then you go to them and you, I guess, divulge, listen,
Right.
this is really bothering me. And then you hear it a couple months later, oh, I remember when she come to tell me. And that breaks confidence and trust in confiding in people. even if all things are not bad, I'm just telling you about this one thing. And when we break that trust with people, that's
Yes.
and I think that's a part of why people want to be so closed in and not want to share whether they're happy or sad, or happy or unhappy,
Right.
with people, because you trap C. I mean, there's no better way for me to say, you trapsy, you messy,
Yeah.
you like mess, and as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned, you couldn't wait for me to
You want
fail.
company. And that's
Misery,
why I talked about envy, because the Bible says, where there is envy and strife, there is every evil work.
misery,
Not some
love
evil work,
company,
not the possibility of
every.
evil work, every evil work. And so if you can't see somebody in a difficult situation and help bring them out of it by encouraging them, shut up.
We don't know how to do that though.
Shut up, man.
We don't know how to do that.
And I know shut up sounds harsh, but no, shut up.
Be quiet.
No, shut up.
Don't speak.
Shut. Put the shut to the up.
Shh.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously. If you know what you have to contribute to that person's difficult situation, or whatever it is that they're going through, their marriage is not going to help make the situation better, then keep your mouth closed, man.
For me personally, like with certain situations, if it's brought to me, I'm very careful. I'm very careful, so much so that people will get upset because I have nothing to say. No, I don't have anything to say, because at the end of the day, that blood is on your hands. Like I take it that serious.
And that's why I say shut up and not be quiet.
I take it
because
that
it's
serious.
that weighty.
I take it that serious.
It's that weighty. I
But-
can't tell you to be quiet. I can't tell you, no, keep your opinion to yourself. No, you need to shut up. If you do not have something to contribute to the strength of my marriage, to the strength of my relationship, to the strength of me as an individual in that difficult situation, do not say anything to me. Go pray for me. Go talk to God about it.
Don't go pray, because what you may tell God.
No, but you see, I believe in an almighty, all-powerful God who knows exactly what it is that I need. So
if that's the
fine.
case, don't go. You know,
Fine. No, talk to him about it.
Mericha, it's the comments.
Talk to him about it. To be honest, Mericha, people don't like to confide because you know how Bahamians go. Child, that couldn't have never been me. And that's
Hold
the
on.
person that you don't need to speak to. Because we don't know what we would do.
Or they'll say, Jesus, all that you've been going through.
We don't know. You don't
Oh
know.
God.
And I ain't gonna lie. This doesn't even just apply to marriage. This applies to any situation or circumstance we find ourselves in. You are not that person. Even if the exact same thing has happened to you, you are not that person.
Same tragedy, different perspective.
Totally different
Different.
personality and perspective. So just be there for the person, man. Just
Just
give
listen.
them your shoulder.
Just listen.
give them the shoulder.
Don't do
Let
nothing
them
else,
cry on the shoulder. Give them some tissue.
and get up and move.
And Lord, strengthen them. God, give them the wisdom to get through the situation, how to make this the best decision. Pray for a man. Shucks, man. Yeah, I run on. Many of us struggle to navigate the most basic of relationships, from family to friends. Those issues follow into marriage. Work on you. Date yourself. Pour into you.
Yes.
So you go into marriage as a whole person as possible. As whole as possible. And we should be cleaning up our circles all the time. Not everyone is for every part of your life journey.
Or the entire journey.
Just listen.
Yes. Yes, Stella.
Thou art a woman of God.
Flesh and blood
Did not reveal
not.
that to reveal that to you.
did not.
Do what works for you to keep happiness in your marriage. Stop comparing.
Right.
Yeah, Giselle, I know. Shut up is a bad word, but I have to use it.
It's
I'm
spelled
sorry.
T. It's spelled T.
Listen. Telsie say. Yeah, just shit all the way up.
All the way. Not half the way.
And mind your biscuit.
And mind. Drink water and mind
And mind your business.
Do it, please.
Everyone would have done leave that man until it's them in that
Right.
shoe. Exactly.
And then I think too, people don't talk because they would be hypocrites.
Say this, KK. Same script, different cast.
It's really the extra to run for me, but anyway,
because that's what she said.
I think people will be very hypocritical if they say. So if you just tell your friend, girl, I would have never take that. And then you in that situation and you have to go and tell that same friend,
Taking it.
yeah,
Taking it.
that makes people
Taking it because you don't know what you're willing to do for somebody that you love until you're in a situation where you have to make that decision.
agreed. I want to stick a pin right there.
Mm-hmm.
When I did my research, I don't know. I gotta find a better way to say it. Upon studying, I found that they said unhappy marriages have unhealthy effects. But not all marriages may be equally healthy. In fact, previous studies suggest that being in an unhappy or troubled marriage may raise stress levels and increase the risk of heart disease or depression. They actually mentioned that I think it's about 20 or 30% of men that die from heart attack being unhappy is, I guess, a factor in that. How do you feel about that? Being unhappy having caused you have a heart attack?
I have had panic attacks and anxiety attacks because of a relationship. So yes, I agree.
Hmm. When your heart is literally
And one of
broken.
those panic attacks caused me to end up in accident emergency
Wow.
because I couldn't breathe because of a relationship.
So I mean, how do we not get there? I mean, like because you're saying that there had. I mean, is it because you just love this person so much, or you love them more than they loved you, or
No, it was really one of those moments where things got out of hand. Um and I was putting up with something that I should not have been in the first place.
mm,
And so I
okay,
had to that caused me to walk away. When I saw it having physical effects on my body,
oh, okay, now I
I
understand.
realized, well, Jesus said told you know about this in the first place, ma'am. So,
Right.
however, it's different when it comes to marriage.
Yeah. But I mean, but
So
if that is causing your actual health,
I this is the part where I'm gonna
that's
say this thing that may offend some people, but I just don't believe you can have a successful marriage without God.
that's hands down.
Everybody may not agree with
It
that.
was created by God.
It was created by God for him, for his pleasure,
For his
for his
pleasure.
enjoyment. But the only way the stresses of life, the issues and circumstances that we face cannot wipe us out
Mm.
physically is the grace of God. Because there are some of us, if we tell the truth, some of the things that we've been through, we should have lost our minds long time, like a long time ago.
And even for those persons what we experienced in our country recently, where spouses are killing each other, and they're not
Or
even
like Tommy says, a friend of mine tried to commit suicide
are
because she was so unhappy.
they're not even married yet.
Mm.
So I mean, what is going to make us cut it quicker? I mean, like why we have to wait until there is no more time? And I'm not talking about marriage. I'm talking about being in a relationship. And you know this person is toxic. You know this person harms you. You know this person harms your child.
I think that the words that are said when it comes to marriage, we need to take this into dating. So it
Yes.
says that it's not to be entered into unadvisedly or
But
lightly,
in this
but reverently,
generation,
discreetly, advisedly, and soberly, and in the fear of God. I think when it comes to dating, we should not enter into a dating relationship unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advisedly, soberly, and in the fear of God.
I don't think we see it that way. I think we see it as I'm just gonna date until I feel like this person does everything to make me happy.
It is a scary thing. Back to what I told you that person said, and I just can't remember who it was. I heard it. I said it, say it, and it was recent too. Just because you can marry that person, it doesn't mean that you should marry them. Just because you can be with that person, it doesn't mean you should.
But then on the flip side, you have people saying like things like, "Man, that's a good man. You know, you should." I guess that person isn't really.
We have to be we have to be true lovers of ourselves and true believers of who it is that God has called us to be. And we have to be convinced that if God can be specific enough to put you in the place wherever you are in the world, if He can be that specific about your location and who your parents are and who your siblings are, you have to believe that He is as specific for the parents of your children. To be
Yeah.
intentional to bring
Yeah.
you and your spouse together,
Yeah.
to say that I want to bring this child in the earth and I need these two people to come together in order to bring this child
Yes.
together. So there has to be some specificity on God's part in reference to who you should be joined to.
But then there must be a level of openness too for God to do that.
Yes.
Because God
He's not
can
going to
have-
force himself. Yeah.
Not only that, it's just if you choosing who you want, choose.
Now that's graceful when you have made that decision. So let's not make it seem like there isn't.
No,
there is.
There is, but there's a level of suffering that will come with that.
And that's when you step
And-
into the permissive will of God.
And that suffering part is what we tell single people.
Don't. Okay.
You see what I mean? Based on what you said earlier.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, then don't make your poor decision and your present suffering a definition of marriage.
But that's the people who like talk. I mean, I'm just saying the truth. Okay. Comment.
Everyone would have done. Okay, sorry. Back. Okay, here. A friend of mine tried. Okay, we read that already. Marriage is spiritual. It cannot be without God. Marriage was also created for us to learn more about God. What are we learning about God when we are in these marriages? Interesting. That's heavy, Tommy. That's a fact. How else you gonna live with a man 24/7? And not strangle him, but forgive. My God. Because we have glamorized toxicity, especially among young people. We are also dating with no goals, dating with no direction, dating and don't know what we want our futures to look like.
Agreed. If you don't bust me in my head, you don't love me. If you don't block my eye at least once, you don't love me. I rest my case.
We need to end. Let's talk about what we're gonna do about our current marriages that are unhappy. We talked about recommending to our girlfriends to get counseling, because here's the thing: the marriages that aren't working out right now, that are unhappy, those persons are not gonna come on the show and make a comment right now, and they're not gonna text us because of the shame or because of the embarrassment, because of the difficulty of the situation. For the individual who's going to listen to this conversation at a later date and time, and they're looking for a solution to the unhappiness in their marriage. To those of you who are tuned in, what are we offering? What are we saying to our girlfriends? What are some of the things that have worked in your marriages to help make it happy again? And no, we're not looking to copy and paste what you did from your marriage into another marriage, but there are some principles behind the actions that you would have done to make things better. And what are those things? Like, what are those ways in which you made adjustments in your marriage, or you started something, or you stopped doing something in order to make things better? When it comes to you and your spouse and the relationship that you have with your husband, I remember a story that my pastor shared very openly. He talked about strengthening the communication barrier in his marriage and what he did one year for he and Robin's anniversary was he bought journals. And it wasn't a flashy,
Mm-hmm.
less, great big like anniversary gift. It was like, okay, whenever I have something to say to you, I'm going to write it in this journal. And whenever you have something to say to me, you write it in this journal. And that's how they established better communication. Saying the difficult things is always hard.
Right.
And so it created an avenue of communication where the person who needed to get the thing off their chest had the space to do it and didn't have to continuously consider that person's body language and response to what they had to
Mm.
say. They could just get it out and vice versa.
But-
And then you can also know the truth about what your spouse is really feeling as well.
I
So it can be hard, but
I
it can
agree
also
with
be
that.
healthy.
I agree with that, but for me, I don't see the book working out. I feel like I may lost the book.
Well, the book don't leave the house.
I in the house, you think things don't get lost in the house? It's lost.
Wow.
Lost things, right? Maybe not the book, but I think at first, this is my advice: deal with you, right? See what's wrong in you that can be making, like, we have triggers. So if Marisha tell me she doesn't like me wearing pink earrings, I'm gonna ease off the pink. Maybe do a ombre pink. I mean, no, like compromise, right? Trying to fix certain things. But this is what in my marriage, communication was an issue. Like when like early stages, and I was getting frustrated. It's like, man, you don't understanding me, freaking out. And then I realized my husband don't like to talk. He don't want to talk, and I wouldn't say I love to talk, but I talk a lot more than him. Right? And we came to this agreement in the quiet of the day, right before we go to sleep. How you doing? I noticed this today. Can we hash this out? That works for us. Maybe it may not work at nighttime. Maybe first thing in the morning. I saw you did this, and I really didn't like it. And because we vary in views, or we different in views, he may see something and I don't see it that way. So my compromises help me to see it the way you see it.
Yeah.
And then when I see it your way, I want you to see it from my way, so that we can come to a mutual understanding on agreement.
Yeah.
That, listen, I don't have a problem with you in the way you see it, and vice versa. But this is what we need to move forward. This is what we need. So I think finding that space of communication, like you said, yours may not be a book, yours may not be at night. Maybe it may be first thing in the morning. Maybe it's over breakfast. Social media. I don't WhatsApp Daniel, but I sent him a messenger. Check on him. However, whatever it is, the way you communicate,
Right.
try to have that as
Keep
a safe.
constant communication.
That works to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my advice.
Crystal says, learn to listen. Don't just try to get your point across or express how you feel, but try to listen to your spouse to see where they are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and why they are in that place. Then try to assess what can be done to move forward, if anything can be done. Delary says, get real counseling. It would be nice for your spouse to be on board from the beginning, but if they are not, please work on
She's saying go by yourself?
Anyway.
Go by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, we should normalize that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, chase conduct of the wife.
And then too, you'd be surprised how you getting help can just make the relationship better.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it changes your view.
Yeah, absolutely. I also try not to do things that will upset my spouse if I know it's something he doesn't like. I don't always get it right, but I try to think before acting or speaking or whatever it is. I try not to do things that I think he might find triggering.
And I think what makes it worse is if my husband say, like, this bothering me, I don't like this, and I still go ahead and do it. You are looking for an issue.
You asking for a fight.
You are like, you gotta fix, and that's on both sides now.
Yeah. Or not doing something that you know will make your spouse upset. Because it's not just the things that we do that will make them mad. It's the lack of doing.
That there was a time that anyway, Daniel, everything cool, right? I have this issue if I'm trying to explain something to him, I'll start pointing. And if we in church and I try to whisper in his head and I'm like, you see, and he hit my hand like you can't see you pointing, and people think we talking about them and we're talking about them. And that would make him so mad. Like as simple as that may seem, he'd be like, come on, man, Joe. Or anyone who knows me knows that my face may be a problem from time.
Yes, your face is a problem.
It's really the pot calling the kettle black. But anyway, I'm gonna save that for another time. And Daniel will be there hitting me like your face, your face, your face. And it isn't that it brought a strain in our marriage, but it in turn had some kind of effect. So if someone, if Mericha got me like, Joe, come on, Daniel would try to give me the, you can't do that, so that Mericha doesn't have to come and say,
Right.
gotta fix your face.
Oh gosh. Maria Varon says, I found that literally just going to God with my complaints when I feel like I'm not being heard works wonders. Constantly nagging when there is a situation not going your way does
No.
not work. And literally, I've watched God get right what I never could. But definitely work on you first.
I agree. Faith without works is dead. If you've done all you can, take it to the Lord.
Chelsea saying all she wants is for you to put the toilet seat back down.
That's it. That's it.
That's all. Chelsea saying that's all she wants.
That's it.
All she wants is for you to put the toilet seat down. Nothing else. Just put the toilet seat down.
That's it. There are some things that bother me, and I make it clear. Like this bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I expect you to get it right every day, but by God, Jesus, man, show me, like, and that's the reality. Show me that. I think it's really this. Show me that you love me enough to get it, to try and get it right. And I think that's where in a lot of marriages, people go into that kind of downward spiral, because if someone gets something wrong, it automatically makes you think you don't love me enough because you should have known. Especially with women, I feel like I've heard them. I've said it. I don't feel like I should have to say it. Why should I have to tell you this? It don't work like that. You may have to say.
No, you're gonna have to. You know, mate. You're going to have
No,
to.
in some cases you don't have to say.
Because we don't read minds.
That's true, but in some cases you still may not have to say. Some, like, depending on the situation.
Yeah, it might be obvious,
Right.
but so in most cases, you have to say. You got to be like, the Chelsea say, please put the toilet seat back down.
Please, you know about me.
Put it down. Put the cap back on the toothpaste.
Pick up that piece of clothing. You just walk in the door and drop that jacket. Please pick it up.
Oh Lord,
pick it up. Oh, I feel something right. Can't take me nowhere. Pick it up. Pick it up. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Another thing I would say is this. I will say expectations must be communicated. I love that, Jade. That's really powerful. Just how your
That's
child
good,
could
Crystal.
disappoint you, your spouse could disappoint you. We have to learn to communicate effectively and compromise.
And then one disappointment doesn't mean that it's over, because you're not getting rid of your child.
I was going to say this. I was going to say practice the art of letting go. For real. Practice the art of letting go. What does that practically look like? Because it sounds like an amazing thing, but it doesn't seem like a practical thing to do. If you can't let go of the things you do to yourself, notice I didn't say the things people do to you.
Yeah.
If you can't get over the things that you have done to yourself and you have allowed yourself to go through and you have allowed people to do to you, you will not be able to forgive somebody else.
Mm,
So when I say practice the art of letting go, practice being okay with your own inconsistencies and
yes.
inefficiencies, understanding that you are not perfect and that we make mistakes. Practice the art of forgiving yourself when you do something stupid, when you say something stupid, when you allow something to happen
Yeah.
to you that should not happen, when you don't stand up for yourself the way that you should, when you don't correct something within yourself that you know needs to be corrected. Practice forgiving yourself. It seems like a selfish thing, but our reality is that we treat ourselves better than we treat other people.
Mm,
So if you begin with treating you better, you'll start to treat other people better too.
agreed.
We want to take the posture of the acronym that we learned when we was children. Joy, Jesus, others, and then yourself. But let's tell the truth, y'all. Let's be real. For almost 100% of us, we selfish.
Bad, bad.
We are selfish, self centered individuals seeking for our own self aggrandizement and our own personal prideful pleasure. And so I would encourage all of us to forgive you. That will
Mm,
make forgiveness in your marriage
so
easier.
easy. So
It'll
easy.
be a light thing for
And the
you.
truth is, you can tell you haven't forgiven you because someone could say something and it's totally
And it
unrelated,
triggers.
but it's totally unrelated.
And it triggers.
And you go off. You trying to say I never put the toilet seat down. Yeah, yeah. That's big.
Because many and you know what? I've seen this happen too with with I have to be careful with what I say it. With people that I've encountered, especially when it comes to my girlfriends, the
Mm,
women. Many women um, are facing unhappiness in their marriage because in their single days they had abortions and now in their marriage they're trying to have kids and they can't.
mm,
And so your husband wants a child, you definitely want to give him a child and you can't. And you're asking yourself the question if what you did is contributing to whatever. And I do agree that medical advice and information is necessary to have, but I also would say alongside that, you got to forgive yourself
you
for
have
that,
to.
man,
You have to.
and let that go because even though it's an emotional thing, it's also a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And you're holding on to the shame and the guilt
Condemnation.
of that decision. And
Jesus.
there is therefore now no condemnation to them that are in Christ Jesus who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. And in that particular situation, what it looks like to walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit is to know that God has called you to be fruitful and multiply. That's a commandment that He's released over your marriage. That your marriage is supposed to bring forth fruit.
Yes.
It's supposed to. I don't care what the doctors say. It's supposed to. It is supposed to. Marriage is supposed to be fruitful. No matter how old you are, there should be some fruit from your union. There should be some productivity. The reason that you are together is because something should be made better and there should be a multiplication or production of some sort because the two have become one. And so don't settle for a lack thereof. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mm. Getting the comment.
I want to go back here. Just how your child could disappoint you, your spouse could disappoint you. We have to learn to communicate effectively and compromise. Put the cap back on.
Say that one more.
Put the cap back on the toothpaste. Say that one more time. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, because you ain't letting go of your child, But one disappointment, you telling the man you could go.
And that's pride too.
Yeah, man.
I could make it without you. I was independent before I meet you. I had my this, I had my that.
yeah.
What if that's the case?
Humble yourself.
If that's how you really feel, you really should be single.
you need to be by yourself.
You should.
You need to be. It's good for you to be alone.
It's good for you to be alone.
That's a big topic, Mericha. We love to beat ourselves up about decisions we made in the past and question if it's still costing us in the present. I suffered with that bad. No, it's major. It is
Hold on, Mericha.
major. Yeah, I saw
You
that.
see?
Yeah, I burst out laughing. You see, I laughing when I was laughing because I saw
He
that.
trying to come for me. Hey, baby, how you doing?
It ain't won't go up. I keep trying to put it up. Oh, there it is. It up. It up.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
And those fruits are not just children. They are located in Galatians. Mom,
Chelsea, something on you today.
you just
You-
Lord.
You ain't oily. You early.
You early, man.
Early.
Gosh.
Something on you today, Chelsea. I feel
They are
it.
located in Galatians 5:22. All them fruit. The fruit of the spirit. I agree with you, Mom.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Why do you answer like this? See, you know something. On this blue app, he don't respect me.
No.
No respect.
I ain't gonna lie. It just be funny.
It- No respect. That's your problem. That's your problem.
Oh,
I'm doing well,
man.
baby. See you soon. See the prim? Look at the blush. Prim? Okay.
Oh man, of all the times I played the show over my husband. Over my husband head. This is the first time he loaded up on his phone and watched it. Daniel, them up to something today. Oh my
mm.
god.
When them two get together, that's it. Look at that title. Javard.
What is really going on here?
Woo!
This topic
It's-
touch a
it's
button
on it.
today. You know what? This is so necessary for us. And I pray that our single girlfriends didn't turn this conversation off.
No, man.
I pray that because a single woman and a married woman are having this conversation, I pray that you wherever you found yourself, that you took what was necessary for you, because I think that a major contributing factor to the failure of marriage is those of us singles who haven't prepared for it.
Yes.
God rebuked me the other day because I put a prophetic word in front of his face the other day, and he said to me, "You didn't read it." I got a prophetic word in 2015, and the prophetic word said, "Get ready to get married soon." And then it said, "God is going to work that situation out for you, Mericha." Just those two sentences. So me going back to God in prayer, I said, "God, you told me in 2015, it's now 2022.
How long?
Wait.
Is
Wait, this is what he said to me. He said, "I didn't say you were going to get married soon. I gave you an instruction. Get ready to get married soon."
Hey.
In between 2015 and 2022, how have you prepared yourself for marriage?
Did you answer?
No,
Okay.
I couldn't. How could I? When he blatantly showed me that he gave me a prophetic instruction, and my response was to do absolutely nothing but to throw it back in his face and be like, he didn't do it. He's like, no.
Yes,
No. I did not tell you you were going to get married soon. I told you to get ready to get married soon. So in other words, your marriage, the timeline depended on you getting ready.
Wow.
And I want y'all to know, like, this was recent. This wasn't like, this ain't a conversation that I telling you about that happened like a month ago. No, this was like a very recent conversation
Jesus.
that me and God had. And he was like, no, boo. You can't bring no word back to me and say my word. My word don't return to me void. It doesn't. He
Wow.
said, I gave you an instruction. You didn't follow through. Now you are reaping the fruit of your disobedience and lack of action.
Be not deceived. Jesus.
So I say to my single sisters out there, don't wait until you have a man to prepare for marriage.
Don't get ready. Be ready.
Be ye always
Always.
ready.
Always.
Be ready. What is it about you now that you know if you were with somebody now, it would be an issue. Change it. What is it about you right now? Like for me, my current bad habit now is I just eat my food before I go home because I don't want to share with my family. I said it. It's out there. You've seen me sit in my car and eat. I've been on the phone with you on a video call,
Driving it.
and you've seen me drive and eat, and you've seen me sit in my car and eat and don't want to take that food
But
inside
see,
the house because I want to share.
although I may have seen that, I didn't know that
You
was
didn't know the purpose behind it. What was behind it was I want to get nobody none.
done.
And God said, God showed me the other day, no, but that's selfish.
Wow.
Because a part of marriage is getting used to like you share everything.
Honestly, me and Daniel have this rule. I will share everything except drink.
I could see that.
You could have half of my food. You could do anything.
Just
You
don't touch my drinking.
the drinks. Just and that's not compromise. The drink, don't touch the drink. I need
So he dealt with
drink.
me on that. He talked to me about like building my house, so on and so forth. And he said to
Mhm.
me, he said, "Are you going to be an idiot?" And those were his words. Because I believe the Holy Spirit is speaking to you the way you talk. So
Yeah.
he said to me, "Are you going to be an idiot and build this massive closet that only your clothes can fit in? Or are you going to make space for your husband? Even if you don't want him in your house, you would like to go into another home. Where are you making room for him? Is there any room for him in your closet?
So
Is there any room for him in the space that you are building? Because if you're building a space for yourself, then it is also good for you to be alone."
So Lisa, stop it. Don't feel bad. Just go home. Don't feel bad, Mericha. And then I just go home and cook and say, I'm hungry.
Oh, I feel bad.
Oh, you gotta be delivered? Why like
Oh, I forgot today.
it is really the I'm hungry for me. I'm hungry.
Kristen said she rather you get your own plate.
Get your plate, please.
Yes, it is. Confession is definitely good.
Good for the soul.
What'd she say? Take all, like Bishop said last night, not leaving anything at the buffet. Yes, take all of it. Take all of it. Yeah, no, man. He even talked to me about like this process I'm going through with building my home. He says, no, you got to make space. Even if it's not your permanent place of residence, if you're saying this is what you want,
You're preparing.
you will make space for it in every area of your life. So to the single woman out there, that business that you want to start, that ambition that you have, the purpose that God has on your life, where does your husband fit in there? Because if the person that you're dating can't fit in with that, then he in it. He in it.
Or she's not it. In case I'm male. So
Yeah, then or she in it. Because the truth is, but I really want to say that to the females too, because we believe that we've been called to serve a man's purpose, but that the man has nothing to do with ours, and that's not true.
and believe it or
We're
not,
both helpmeets.
that-
We're both helpmeets.
that's not common. That's not common. I'll just leave that right there. Yeah. And that's why a lot of people are unhappy too, because your purpose isn't
Your
lining
purpose
up with-
doesn't die because you get married.
Yeah.
No.
Or the purpose, they're not lining up.
Yeah,
They
something ain't
conflict.
right.
Yeah.
Something ain't right. And there shouldn't be a only dying of one person. The
Yes.
two people gotta die.
Yeah.
The two of us. The two on them.
The two
Gotta
of we.
die.
The two of we.
No, the two of us. No. So yes, as a wife, you serve the purpose and the plan of God for his life. But please remind him, sir, hi, I am a whole person with a whole purpose when you met me.
Yes.
And so if you are the man that God has sent for me, then that means that you are here in my life
You're not
to help make that purpose
you're
come
not a
forth.
hindrance to it.
No.
You should not be a
No.
hindrance to it.
You should not be the cancellation of my God-given purpose. You should not be the cancellation of my assignment. In fact, you should be the complement to it.
Yes.
You should be the incubator for it to really be birthed and really mature and really blossom.
Yes.
That's what you should be.
Believe it or not, this may sound crazy, but I didn't figure that out until I was married.
Wow. That your husband would be the person to catapult you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I must be slow. I'm just a little slow. But yes.
Yeah.
This is true, Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to listen, because that goes back to what you talked about very early in the show. You can't lose yourself. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm talking about, if this is what
Your
you know,
identity.
man, like, you know, this is who you
Yeah.
are. You know this is what you've been called to. Why would God send you somebody who would want to kill the thing that you've been not only just doing, but you've been succeeding at? Like, why would he do
Yes.
that?
Yes.
That's not godly. It's
Mm.
not. It's not.
Mm.
And so I pray, like Jade said, some of us have really been freed today to still be great, man. Again,
You
you
missed
do
something,
not
Mericha.
have to make yourself small. Man, they just want to part to everything, man.
Okay. It's just that good.
We have another topic coming up that deals with marriage later on in the year that I think is going to help. So yeah. There's going to be another conversation about marriage, but it's going to come from a different perspective. And
Mm.
that is coming later on in the year. In fact, what we may do is we may slide it in August. We'll see how it goes. We may slide it in August. And then once August is gone, y'all give us 1 week off and then we'll be back. It's your girl on vacation.
Gabrielle say y'all preaching.
Oh man. So yeah. Aw, thanks, Crystal.
Oh,
Thank you. I ain't gonna lie, I want to take them off her head so bad.
come on.
If she only want to know.
And believe it or not, I wanted to do a bun, but I just didn't.
If she only know.
I didn't
I
see it
want to take
through.
them so bad.
I didn't see it through.
I ain't gonna eat in the car no more after today. Oh Lord, the secret.
Be delivered. Be set free.
Say the man listening of all the days.
All the days. You don't listen those days, but you listen today.
Oh Lord. I mean, I just don't do it every day.
What?
At least she's still being a good wife and she going home to cook.
Anyway, just-
Listen, get you some good girlfriends, man. You need a girlfriend who can be that shoulder that you can cry on, a shoulder that you can lean on. You need that iron that sharpens iron. You need that girlfriend who can be genuine, who can pray with you when your marriage is really going through, when you're questioning whether or not you should be in relationship with this person or not. When this person is not lining up with what you expected or what you believe they would be, you need that girlfriend to help guide you through that. And we are definitely champions here at Girl Talk
And-
for us to get you some good girlfriends.
and then
to
don't
find
forget
your
to
tribe,
be.
man.
Don't forget to be that girlfriend. I mean, we all want people to help us, but who are we helping?
Yes.
You need to be that iron that sharpens iron. You need to
Yes.
be the one that's praying, not someone always praying for you.
Yes.
And something that I want to reiterate, whatever category you find yourself in, whether you're dating, whether you're single, whether you're engaged, whether you're married, separated, or divorced, we are here to prepare you, preserve, and prevent. You may not be unhappily married, you may be single, but there are some steps that you need to take to prepare for
I love
marriage, to prevent the unhappiness, so that we can see godly, successful
love it.
marriages.
I love it.
You may be engaged. We're still preparing you for what you are going to be, and it's going to be great. Find your tribe, man.
Find your tribe.
Eh, eh, eh. I love honestly, that's my song. Every
Oh,
time we start the show, I
man.
dance to that.
Oh my gosh, y'all, and it's coming soon. The song
Eh, eh.
itself is coming really soon.
Why is the stress?
It's not that serious.
Oh,
And
free your mind. It's gonna be alright. Big tune.
Oh Jesus! Coming up next on Girl Talk. Next week we gonna talk. See, listen. This is the perfect.
We on our way.
We on our way, y'all.
We
We gonna
on-
talk about dating
on
rules.
our
We're gonna
way.
talk about this situation.
Mm.
This dating situation.
Situation.
It's a situation indeed.
No, situation.
It is. It is a situation indeed. And then the following week, we're going to be talking about the power of your no. Do you really know how to say no?
Oh, you just saying no for no reason.
Are you saying no?
I promise y'all, in the studio with Mericha, pray.
But that's what we do, though. No, man. we don't say no and mean no. So listen, we're gonna talk about that. So next week we are gonna be back here, same time, same place, with another amazing, powerful, great show for you. We got to go. I am late for a 6 o'clock meeting, and Joinae gotta go
Every
to
week I gotta go
serve the people of God. I gotta go serve the people of God too.
serve the people of
So
God.
oh gosh, y'all, be back here next week Thursday, same time, same place, for another great, amazing, wonderful, powerful show. We got to go. We love y'all. Have a glory filled week.
See ya.
Find a tribe.